In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my 7 favorite wheel strategy stocks that are quote unquote cheap, but in my opinion are fantastic for running the wheel strategy on. And if you drop a comment down below in today's video, in addition to today, I'm going to give you my $30 wheel list, which is a full list of wheel strategy stocks that are all under $30. And of course, you go and do your own research on these stocks. Just because I like them, right, doesn't mean that you have to like them. But today, let's get right into it, guys. And I really appreciate it if you like and subscribe to the video. Like I said, drop a comment. I will personally send you over that $30 wheel list again, completely for free, no strings attached. So let's get into the first one. Okay, we're going to go over some of the technical analysis of these stocks, and then also we're going to jump into the options chain to see what kind of premiums we're currently getting at the levels that we are currently at. So right now, first one is Pfizer, one of my absolute favorite wheel strategy stocks for really many years, especially during the COVID times. But right now we are seeing that we are trading right below, right at our 300-day moving average, and we're going to really be seeing this as seeing what kind of resistance we get at this level right now, at least at the time of me recording this video. Trading around 25.21, a little bit up in pre-market, not much here, but we're going to see how it reacts. So we're kind of right in the middle. Now this line right here that you're seeing, that is my 300-day moving average, which is 25.21. And then our 200-day moving average, which is 24.51. And then we're just basically right at the middle, 47 on the RSI, which basically tells you how overbought or oversold a company is. If you know that, typically anything above like that 50-60 range, right, people are, buying the stock. Like for example, when we saw it here at the top Bollinger Band, it was trading at 26. We can go to the RSI and you can see our RSI was almost at 60, right? That means a lot of people are jumping into the stock. They're buying the stock. They're excited about it. XYZ happen, and then when the stock is towards its bottom Bollinger Band, right, where it's really struggling, right, you can see right here we're at like a 36 RSI on this drop. Rule of thumb, for me at least, sell cash secured puts at the bottom, sell my covered calls at the bottom, because more likely than not, we will see a retraction in either direction. Is that a guarantee? Absolutely not. But it's using the data that we have to kind of set ourselves up as best as we can for success. But with that said, let's go take a look at the options chain on Pfizer here. Obviously, I'm just using Robinhood here for our example. I'm just going to go to the trade Pfizer options. We're going to click sell a put, and I'm going to toss myself over here along with this button. And we're going to go take a look at what kind of premiums we're actually going to be collecting here on Pfizer. So first thing we need to do is what our expiration date is going to be. Listen, you can do weeklies. There's nothing wrong with doing weeklies. There's just more management involved in them. You will typically see a more return on your collateral if you're running weeklies. That's the reality. You will see it, but you're taking on a little bit more risk. You need a little bit more management, and in my opinion, a little bit more experience. So you can do like weeklies or, bi-weeklies. If you're just a newbie getting into it, I recommend just let time be your best friend here. That's an option seller's best friend is time. We don't need stuff to happen. But you can see here what kind of premiums that we're roughly collecting here. So we're going to click sell a put, and all we're saying here is we're willing to buy 100 shares of Pfizer on January 23rd if it's trading for a price that we get to choose. Now with Pfizer, unfortunately, with some of these stocks, great dividend payers, you typically got to be playing close to the money. So with the Pfizer, you're going to be playing with the 25s or 24s. Obviously, a much higher chance of assignment here. So even looking at the 25s right here, let me open up this contract right here. You can see we're going to collect about $60 of premium right between that bid and ask spread. Delta's 42, so definitely a little bit more aggressive, right? Fairly higher chance of assignment. Now, when you're doing your research, these are all things you have to take into consideration, right? And the way I like to do them to keep myself organized is obviously through my premium calculators, which are free at the end of the Ark Options Strategy workshop. Just click the link down below. Great use of your 90 minutes of your time, and at the end, I give you this stuff for free. But let's just call it $60 of premium. We're collecting, obviously results vary, not financial advice, they're just the premiums I'm seeing at the time of recording this video. We're locking up $2,500 to do this trade for a nice, very healthy 2.4% return on my collateral. Now, you got to judge that stuff for yourself, right? You got to judge that stuff for yourself. Is that worth it? Well, we're going to compare a couple different stocks here today. So let's just write PFE here, and I'll show you kind of like how these kind of compare, because we're playing right at the money here, guys, right? We're playing at 20, we're playing right there, 42 delta. There's a high chance of assignment here, okay? There is a high chance of assignment. So let's go take a look at the next stock, and this is one of my absolute favorites, and let's go take a look at American Airlines. Listen, I was just talking to my brother-in-law last night. He just said he was doing a bunch of stuff on American Airlines, and it shot up like 3% for him. He's able to get out of the puts. Let's go. We're getting the whole family up on selling options, right? But with that said, American Airlines is near and dear to me. It really is. I have been trading this. This is one of my first wheel strategy stocks that I've ever got into. It was like my training wheel stock, and still to this day, when I see opportunities, it's still on my core watch list. Love this company, and the reason for it is it doesn't usually do much. Now, it's been doing some here recently, but we already know when I look at this chart, and you kind of get this pulse. Like it's funny. I was like talking, and I might be crazy. Let me know in the comments. But when you just have like this core watch list, like 5 to 10 stocks, like you just feel like. You just feel it, right? You kind of feel like I've seen this before. I feel like I know what's going to happen. And sometimes it does. I call that the gut indicator, right? It's terrible, right? Of course you can laugh at that. But with that said, let me know if you've ever felt like you're like, man, I've been trading this, I've been wheeling this stock for years, and I just feel like I know what's going to happen. That's like how I am with American Airlines, Arista, right? There's a SoFi even. Like I just feel like I've been trading it so much, I can just feel it, right? Now again, of course, I can turn against me real quick, but with looking at American Airlines, I'm like, come on now. Like, we're going to run it up, but we're going to come back down here towards our 200 and 300 day moving average. This stock is not typically known to do too much on us, right? But with that said, let's take a look at, let's do 6-month chart, right? My goodness, it's been having a nice little run here from 11 now up to 16, up 3% here, right? So what was the previous thing we just talked about with the RSI? 72 on RSI. People are pouring into this thing. I need to see why. I don't understand what's happening with American Airlines. I haven't had a chance to see any recent news or anything, but look how far above the 200 and 300 day moving averages. Now, let me show you this. Let's go take a look at American Airlines right now. We're going to go to American Airlines. Right, we're going to go to trade options. We're going to sell a put. We'll keep the same expiration date across the board. We'll do our 31 days out. And then let's take a look at what kind of premiums we're getting here. Now, I'll go back to my cash gear put calculator. And I always like to do this, guys. I'll take this, especially when I'm considering a few setups. I'm going to do AAL. All right. And let's go take a look at like a 16. All right, a 16, right? That's about that 40 delta. Now, again, you got to go make those decisions for yourself. What kind of delta you want? I like to be between 20 and 30 usually to have a good mixture of assignment and risk. But right here, right? Look at the bid ask is fairly wide, right? So let's just assume we could get filled around 70. We're going to get filled around 70, right around that midpoint between the bid and ask. So we'll get filled around $70 right here. And we are locking up, what do we say? $1,600, right? Because we're playing right at the money, 16. Look at that, 4.38%. That is why I wanted to show you this, right? When I'm playing close to the money for whatever reason, I want to see a really insane return. Because I'm taking on way more risk, right? If I'm playing one strike down from the current share price, like Pfizer right here, right at the money, and I'm only getting 2.4. Now, don't get me wrong, 2.4% in a 31-day period is insane. I do think that's already extremely risky, in my opinion. But if I'm going to do it, I want to see something like this, right? Like, for example. But part of the reason that the premium is as good as it is because we're expecting a little pullback here. We're selling insurance here at that 16 level for all of these buyers that are at 16. So you got to weigh it, right? You got to weigh these risks. Me personally, what I like to do, like I mentioned, is I like to sell puts at the bottom, right? Because usually we see the bounce and covered calls on American Airlines at this point because we should see a retraction. So even if I did a 17, 18 covered call on this thing, we should, again, we don't know, nothing's a guarantee, especially with technical analysis, but we should see a retraction back at some point, right? But with that said, let's go. We'll copy and paste another one here to keep showing you guys. I want to quickly show you guys another one that I've been loving over the past few months. I know a lot of you probably have heard about it many times, is Snapchat. Oh my goodness. Man, I just closed out some of my puts from last week on this thing. I had a lot of 750 puts on this, and I ended up closing them out. So nice to see that we continue to see, man, what happened on this thing yesterday? Up for almost 5% yesterday. Awesome. So, in this situation, right, we're now right at the middle Bollinger Band, right, as we're working towards. We're going to see what kind of resistance we get around that 824 level. I mean, we're already a little bit down here in pre-market, but we're going to see what kind of resistance we get at 824 if we continue to go, or are we going to bounce back off it like we did around here? And this is where I actually entered that position in earlier in the week to get into my set. Or actually, I opened that. I think the 750 puts were around November, and I did a monthly on that. I forget. But with that said, obviously up for about 5% here yesterday. Let's go take a quick look at these premiums. Now, Snapchat has been fun. Now, the premiums haven't been great as they used to be on this thing because for the most part, sideways. I mean, it's still very volatile, but for the most part, The premiums aren't as good as they once were. But let's take a look at the 750s, right? 750 is a 29 delta, right? 29 delta on the 750s, right? And we're not, well, we're collecting, let's see, what is our bid, right? 20 bucks. Let's see what kind of premium return we're getting here. So we're locking up $750, 2.67. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I haven't been doing Snapchat. Even middle Bollinger Band right at the money is just not even worth it, in my opinion, right? And this is why I stress, guys, like it's important to have a watch list that you build up over time for yourself, right? Like, think about it. Like, if I only had like these three stocks in my watch list, right? Like, I may not even jump into any of these, right? That's why you build up your watch list over time. I can't stress it. Have a watch list. Have a watch list for yourself, right? Because that is your thing, right? That's your watch list of stocks that you believe in. You believe in their fundamentals, and you're able to now extract the technical analysis, find the setups for yourself for that specific day if you're looking to get into some trades. At least that's how I do it. I ain't getting no financial advice from YouTubers telling me to jump into some stocks. Like, I've already lost some stupid money with that kind of stuff. So let's keep looking. A couple other ones. Let's quickly go into, I'm going to quickly just show a couple other ones. So Archer, this is a big one in my community. I want to share with you guys. I know a lot of our guys like to trade this one. Also, very volatile, very great premiums on this thing. Setup right now is, for the most part, I mean, still below. I mean, if I'm below 200 and 300 day moving averages, I'm like, okay, it's a decent setup. But of course, you know, I would like to see us back towards the bottom Bollinger Band area before I would jump into, an Archer. I have not traded Archer before, full disclosure, but I did want to share because I know a lot of you guys like these cheaper stocks. Obviously go do your own research on this company. I know a lot of people really like this one. Let's take a look at one of my other absolute favorites, and that is Ford. You already know I love these quote unquote cheaper stocks that also offer a great dividend. But look at the chart on Ford here, guys. Ford has been on a tear these past 6 months, an absolute tear. I have not traded this really since in the last 6 months because of it. Did I miss out on gains? Sure I did, but I don't care because that's what's great about when you have a watch list. When you have a watch list, you can ignore, right, some of these other setups and they will eventually be set up. That's the best part. Eventually, right, it will be in a good setup territory. That's the nature of the game, right? We see that, and that's why I am not a FOMO trader. I don't fear that I'm going to miss out on gains or XYZ, right? That is a terrible thing and a terrible way to trade because you're now trading on emotion, and we don't want to trade on emotion. We want to trade on logic. We want to trade on fundamentals, then on technicals, right? Fundamentals over technicals always. So for me, fundamentally, I still love Ford, but technically, I don't like the setup, right? Why? Because I'd be taking on so much risk selling like 12 puts, 13 puts here, where do I really want to be holding Ford if we did see a retraction back towards our 200 and 300 day moving averages? I could be stuck holding at 13 or 12 for a very long, potentially a very long time as we try to recover, and especially since I'm not even able to get assigned and look, I'll show you guys, right? Like you can literally see this, like, and this is exactly how I do it. But I want to be, when I'm selling puts, I really want to be around those key moving averages. Like I do. They offer great support, right? So right here, even look at these. Like, there's not $5 for the 12s, $3 for the 11.5s, $0 for the 11. See, that one's not for me right now, but I do love this stock and I miss trading it a lot. So it is one of my core watch list stocks. Obviously, go do your own research if you like it. Next one is going to be Kenvue. Man, this one has been fun. Haven't traded in a couple months now since the whole since November, a couple months, man. But since all the stuff happened with since they're being acquired by Kimberly-Clark, hasn't really been set up really since that October, November timeframe where I was trading it. We kind of shot up here at the end of October and really stayed above towards this upper Bollinger Band area, which for me isn't really exciting. But we are at obviously the spread is now super tight on this bottom Bollinger Band. Technically still below the 200 and 300 day moving averages, right, which is good, right roughly at the middle of the RSI. So let's go take a look at this, an example of Kenvue, because it's not set up absolutely terribly like American Airlines, for example. In my opinion, American Airlines, you go do your own research, maybe you think it is a good setup, which is absolutely fine by you, right? So currently trading about $17. Let's take a look. Well, we don't even have anything here, maybe because the market is still market's still closed. So actually, the bid and ask is just so massive here. So let's just assume, let's just say 20. Let's say $20 here. Let's go back to our cash secured put calculator. $20. We're locking up right at 16.5. 16.5. Right? 16 about 1.2. just nothing there. It's just not even worth it right now. That's why you kind of have to sometimes just be patient and just wait for the setups and wait for the premiums, because you'll sometimes see that stuff and then you just map them out. This is exactly what I do when I am looking for setups, right? Now with a Kenvue, these typically are better off, in my opinion, on a weekly basis. So that's where I would where I've traded Kenvue a lot, is primarily in a weekly form. And then last one of my absolute favorite cheap stocks, and I love this one because they own a whole slew of brands, and that is Conagra Brands. They own a bunch of different brands that you probably have in your cupboard and you have no idea that you even do. This one has been kind of going sideways here, really for a while here, in that 18, jumping really between that upper 16 and lower 18 level. I've done a lot of 17 puts on this when the premiums are right. Let's take a look and see if we can. I know we're in pre-market still, so sometimes we don't see exactly what kind of numbers we want. So let's go take a look. We'll go out to our normal 31-day mark and see what 17's. Okay, so we're getting about $30 of premium, a little bit more. Maybe we'll collect 35 on that between the bid and ask. So let's go type this into here. Actually, a better premium on this one. So what, we collect $35 of premium, $1,700 being locked up, and that is CAG, right? We got CAG, 2% return. So, right, so you're gonna have to weigh these risks for yourself, right? Conagra Brands, in my opinion, is a much more stable brand, great dividend payer, owns a whole slew of brands, right? I like that, right? You obviously have some much more higher risk plays in here, and you have to kind of judge this for yourself, right? Just because I like something doesn't necessarily mean that you like something. But guys, if you want my full trade log template to keep yourself nice and organized, if you want my premium calculators as well, this is all completely for free to you. If you attend our Ark Options Strategy workshop, it's 90 minutes of training. It's going to show you how to take the wheel strategy to the next level, whether you're a newbie or you're just getting, or you're already somebody that's been doing this for years. There's something for you to learn in there. So click that first link in the description of today's video, and at the end, I will give you all of these resources, guys. Remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.